Live. Let's go relax for a little bit here. That was good. A good cup. Pull up the weed plate. Need to grind a bit of weed. Guess I could start out the video.
Good afternoon, you blasphemous sinners. We're going to take you to church now. The Church of Good News, to repent for your sins with a holy little smile.
Amen, brother.
So I want to go right into the first story. This is one that
Amen,
kind of blew
brother.
my little reptile brain. We just got a new physics update to our understanding of the universe. We got a little patch notes. It was discovered for the first time ever that space isn't exactly
patch notes.
static and empty. Or rather, isn't exactly static. There's gravitational waves that are constantly in like a push and pull, so it's kind of akin to like choppy waters of the ocean with all these gravitational waves. The astronomers recently confirmed this, which actually helps confirm Albert Einstein's theory of relativity. It's incredible how accurate
What?
that man has been on like everything ever, and he never wore socks either, if you knew that.
That might be part of it.
It had to be a large part of it, but it's really impressive stuff.
Right, just because he's gonna
Probably
wear
isn't gonna
socks.
change our day-to-day life, but it really helps further our understanding of the universe because, again, that's huge.
Yeah, I saw they said they've been hunting these waves
Mhm.
for over a decade now.
Yep, and they can finally confirm it with compelling evidence.
Which, can you imagine dedicating your life to something for over 10 years and then being right and finding it? That's good news. That's like the story of Moby Dick. That's their white whale and they caught it.
We finally did. I think it's very interesting, and I'm excited to see what else we can learn about the space around us. Hopefully the next one is dark matter,
What do you want to find out about dark matter?
that we can use it in some way. If I remember correctly, now this could just be totally wrong, and I'm willing to admit that.
It could be.
If I remember correctly, a single like pencil tip of dark matter creates a big enough explosion like 10x a nuclear bomb.
I feel like we don't
Jesus
want to learn
Christ.
to harness that.
But imagine if we did.
You don't have to imagine it. You know exactly what would happen.
Yeah, you already know.
Weaponize it and use it.
We'd use it for really fast internet speeds. Dark matter routers.
Gaming on 5 billion
Yeah.
gigs per second.
Then you could finally download Ark Survival Evolved in less than 3 days.
Oh my God, you're so right. Wow. The future is bright
Thanks to
and
the
dark.
To the gravitational waves, baby.
Yep. So coming
Hell
back to you
yeah.
from outer space, we've got some news about Mars. A 3D printed Mars simulation habitat that's about 1,700 square feet had the 4 volunteers go in, and they're going to be locked in there for a year. So this is going to be used to simulate life on Mars, so we can run tests without them having to actually leave the planet. And they're going to just be reporting, I believe.
See if they
there's
can
a-
actually manage
yeah,
something.
there's a flight engineer, a medical officer, a science officer, and the commander. So they, over the course of their year here, there's going to be a communication delay with headquarters that goes from 5 minutes all the way up to 20 minutes to simulate them leaving the planet and getting further and further away and having to become more and more autonomous as it happens. So the hope is we learn some things so they can actually go to Mars one day and know what the hell they're doing. So that kind of sounds like a nightmare to me. I'm gonna be
It
honest.
does.
Horrific, but
Yeah.
very important for our understanding of life
It is.
elsewhere.
It is. Very
I'm a
good.
little surprised they don't have like a personal chef to cook some yummies for them on this long.
Well, I don't
I mean,
think
that's
they
the point,
would
right?
going to Mars either.
An astronaut chef, I think, would be integral.
That is true. You got the engineer, the
You're gonna need
medical
good
officer.
nutrients.
I mean, I guess if you really think about it, they get bags and they. Yeah, they
but
just have
imagine if you had a
food.
personal chef to take those ingredients and make something incredible out of it.
They really rehydrate those foods.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's an untapped market.
I think you're right. We should train to be astronaut chefs.
We could open our own like space restaurant,
Oh.
and maybe then we'd finally get some extraterrestrial visitors. Like, I
Yeah.
want to try this cuisine.
Nobody visits here because they go, this food stinks.
They got Waffle House here? No, thank you.
Yeah,
I'll
I don't
go
want to get in a
elsewhere.
fight. I want food.
I keep thinking of gravitational waves now. So like the ripple effect that causes the gravitational waves is absolutely nuts too, because it has to do a lot with black holes and shit. Totally unrelated to the Mars
Yeah,
thing. We
n-
can
I
move
mean,
on.
not really. They're gonna have to fly through it.
So the gravitational waves push and pull the space-time continuum itself, if you can believe that.
Oh,
like,
all right, we're going real deep.
Yeah, I was reading about that and I was like, this sounds like actually out of a movie, and I don't know how much of it I believe anymore.
Yeah, that level of science. Mars is great. We're moving on.
Mars
that-
has no gravitational waves.
Yeah, that level of science is where I get to where I'm like, you start blurring the lines of science fiction and reality, and it's
Yeah.
like it makes no sense.
Did you read about how they read the waves?
It was a big antenna, right?
Basically a big tuning fork. That like,
Really?
they stick out because they measure the distance like when the waves hit one bar and then the time it takes to hit the next bar.
Oh, wow.
So they basically, it's just a massive like series of antennas that are trapped.
That's
Well,
so cool.
and like that shit literally sounds like the plot of a Rick and Morty episode
It
where
really
Rick's
does.
like, I'm gonna send out the tuning fork into space and
Morty,
listen to
Morty,
space
I'm
music.
gonna have to sleep real quick.
Yep.
Cover me while I
And then it
sleep.
just tuning fork comes out and it like starts playing like fucking Green Day in the ship, and it's just
Yeah.
like, it's fucking
You
Rick and
glorbed in
Morty.
my trick hole again, Morty. This is one of those touching moments that makes you realize we're not so different after all from our animal
We're
counterparts.
very different.
It turns out dolphins actually use baby talk when their calves are around. So they'll bring up their voice is probably the wrong word, but they'll bring up their their speech. Yeah, they'll bring up their speech a few octaves to make it a little higher pitched for the babies. So like how
Huh.
we talk to babies down here, dolphins do underwater as well. This is known as parentese, or infant-directed speech, which is a cool word for it. And it's also been observed in other animals as well, but most notably dolphins is the newest one they've observed it in.
That list says monkeys, gorillas, and zebra finches. Like
Yeah.
everybody just knows what the hell a zebra finch is.
Yeah,
What is a
a
zebra
bird.
finch?
I figured it was a bird.
Ah.
But yeah, so give us a little example. I know you listen to it. Like
Yeah.
you're. All right, yeah. Let's. Hear
I want to
it.
hear it real quick.
Ugh.
Oh, yeah, never mind. I'll do the sound for you.
Yeah, you're a mama dolphin and you see your little baby.
You want to go swim in the ocean? Oh, you go for a little swim? You go for a little swim?
Go for a little swim.
That was spot on.
Yeah.
If I was your baby dolphin, I'd be so hyped up.
Yeah,
right
you'd be
now.
really excited.
Yeah, that was really good. And
Be a happy kid.
Oh, you,
Oh, there it is. Oh, I thought that was just me
I was like, oh
again.
my god, they're answering.
Yeah, that's what I sound like.
That I do not see the difference.
It's what I was saying, probably.
Wow.
You want to grab a little pufferfish? Get a little
Charlie,
smoky
compared to
pufferfish.
that, I did not see a difference.
Do you think dolphins like pufferfish?
Oh, they do. They get high off of them.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
no,
forgot about
that's right.
that.
They like bite on pufferfish because it's like
Mhm.
like a hit, like some kind of neurotoxin, and they just like get high.
It's like mushrooms.
Mother dolphin, you're encouraging your baby
Dolphins
dolphin
out here
to
doing
do
Yeah, well, they don't
ayahuasca.
have
drugs.
they don't have like laws in the ocean.
That's true. You're in
Survival of the fittest
maritime
down there.
Law at that point. You're
International water.
International waters. You can.
You can smoke pufferfish all day and night.
We should try smoking a pufferfish.
I would
for
never.
everyone. No, it
Yeah.
legitimately would just kill us.
We'd die.
You just die. And now I've got some great news for all mosquito haters out there. Belize is now malaria free. They're the
What?
42nd country to become malaria free, and they are the 4th in the Americas, 2nd in Central America. They, back in 1994, when yours truly, were you born in 1994? When we
94.
were born. They had 10,000 cases, and now they brought it all the way down to 0. They've been declared by the World Health Organization completely malaria-free.
Crazy.
So that's just a huge, huge win for all of us everywhere because malaria and mosquitoes suck. So just big congrats to Belize. You
Yeah,
did
good
it.
work.
This is great.
Good
You
shit,
can party
Belize.
hats out and go run around with no. Well, there's probably still mosquitoes. They just don't have malaria.
Yeah, which is a good thing. Malaria is no good, so good to see it's gone.
Why do we still have malaria if they do not?
Do we?
Do we?
I think we're.
I was gonna say I didn't think we were on that list. Yeah, it's they are also one of 3 in 2023 to get it.
Why is that a mosquito just filled with
Azerbaijan and Tajikistan. So really, what the hell are we doing that we are not malaria free yet? That's baffling.
We've had so many cool experiments to try and kill mosquitoes off entirely. I remember a
Yes.
cool one was we were turning mosquitoes in celibate.
Oh.
Or,
What?
sorry. Incel. Like, we were turning them celibate. Like, they wouldn't reproduce anymore, so that way in a few generations they'd die off. But
Yep.
I guess that we
Couldn't-
haven't seen the fruits of
They-
those labors yet.
I love once a year you'll see the signs up around here, well, around everywhere with the little fish with the ninja mask on. They call them ninja fish, and you can go get one for free. I'm not making this up. This is not an Aaron story. You go get the fish and you put them in like water near your house, and they eat mosquitoes.
That's awesome.
Um,
I didn't know that.
Dragonflies also.
Mosquito that has malaria.
There's only one type that has it.
It's the
That sick bastard.
Yeah.
Anopheles.
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 Probably expensive as shit.
And yeah, it was found in Sarasota County.
It was in Sarasota. That's where the dolphins were baby talking.
Oh, boy.
Oh, I'm not saying I'm positive, but I think there's a correlation.
We don't have enough data yet.
Yeah, we'll get on that. We'll send Aaron. But anyways, yeah, congrats to Belize. You're killing it. Keep doing what you're doing, and we'll try to catch up.
I just have my lighter.
It's that happy time of year again, and no, it's not Christmas. It's time to tell you about moistglobal.com. Tell them what I've got here, Chuck.
You've got a great Moist Esports jersey right there, Matt.
Oh, that jersey
Comfortable
right
fit,
there.
knows how to breathe and knows how to look good.
Breathable,
Mm-hmm.
comfy, perfect. You go to moistglobal.com, you pick up this bad boy, you pick up a hoodie, you pick up sweatpants, slides, headbands, we've got it all.
That
Go
is
to-
that is right.
Yeah, go to moistglobal.com.
That's great
I
news.
did just take a token, right?
Here's another cute animal story for you. A dog retrieved 155 discs from the woods at Grandview Park. The discs were from disc golf, and Kelly Mason was walking her dog Daisy in West Virginia when her dog
Oh.
suddenly ran into the nearby woods
Behind my G.
and started picking up some disc golfs that were discarded over there. So she let Daisy just have at it, go hog wild, and built up a pretty impressive collection of 155 frisbee golf discs. And they have now begun selling them off in order to raise money for the park itself, or for the Marshall County Animal Rescue League.
That's adorable.
Hell yeah.
The picture shows how cute the dog is, but also 155 discs is absurd.
That's
I
a
wish-
lot.
What?
Yeah, it's a lot of this.
We should buy all of the discs and take that same picture with the discs surrounding you. I want to know how long this took, though. Like, if you said, hey, go pick up 155 discs, it would take me a day, like an entire day.
Yeah, but with a dog, you have to keep in mind, doesn't have two hands, only
Sure.
one mouth, has to go there and back. Very inefficient. This probably took
Yeah.
a couple months.
The story makes it sound like it was in, like, a short period of time in a day.
No, it seems like a mission. I think what
Oh, like she brings the
He
dog-
was
okay.
on the
when she
mission.
walks her dog often, Daisy will then go into the woods, get maybe 2 or 3 frisbee golf
Gotcha,
discs, and
gotcha.
then
I was much more thinking, like, the way it sounded was like Daisy went into the woods and then came out with a fuck ton of discs, and her
No.
owner was
Hey,
like,
what up,
"Holy
Knuckles?"
Shit, like, that's 155
she'd need
Thank
to
you for the
train
follow.
for that.
True. Well, great job, Daisy,
Good
and I
work,
hope
Daisy.
all of those discs sell.
Amen.
Now, this is another animal story that hits very close to home.
Would've been
because
funnier if
this
the dog just
chimpanzee never
picked
got
up the
to leave their
150
home
disc in
for
one
50
day.
Years. A chimpanzee named
Just
Camilla
sat on the
flew
disc
home
golf
from
field,
the
just taking
Wildlife
everything. Fuck it.
Sanctuary in LA and got moved to a place in Florida after the LA facility shut down. And this chimpanzee got to see the sky for the first time in her entire life. We actually have a video showing you how absolutely adorable this moment was. It was sad, you know,
I
that she didn't
stretched
get to
it
see the
today.
world for a while, but now she got to go out and see it, and she's excited.
Not to fact check you
Also
live, but it's
barely got in high.
Oh, what's all that about the LA thing? Well, we'll go back. Oh,
I'm providing my own totes. Link like what? A video?
oh,
That's so sweet.
Oh my god, this might be the cutest one we've covered yet.
Yeah, this is
I can't
adorable.
handle that. I'm gonna cry.
and immediately getting into the shade because the sun hurts.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, you can link it.
So there's some bad there too.
If I see it's
So, yeah,
okay,
well,
I'll
Somebody
I'll
look
play
real
it.
quick. I think you're right. I was like, why would it leave an LA?
Yeah, why would it leave a
Why would they
sanctuary?
outside? But yeah, as you saw there, Vanilla and Shake got rehomed. They were 2 of the last 7 chimpanzees to get rehomed from this facility. Shake ran right outside. Shake was excited. Vanilla was apprehensive. She sat in the door and was like, I'm not really sure. And then as you saw, Dwight, the alpha male, was like, no, you're good. Come out. Jumped right out. Just adorable.
That was adorable.
But yeah, was it?
Okay, well, I've
from
also
a
never
York-
seen a link like that, so I
Exactly.
kind of don't want to click it.
The LA thing made no sense. From a New York-based lab, rehomed to Florida.
Hey, and a really top
What is it?
piece of last-second good news. This morning, as of recording, the one of one Magic the Gathering Lord of the Rings card is found. This card had a $2 million bounty on it issued by Dave and Adams for the first person that found it. And whoever found it took it to PSA, it got graded and apparently authenticated and got graded a 9.
A 9. Of course, there's one in the world, and it's a 9.
Yeah. There's a lot of criticism over taking it to PSA over Beckett because not only do you have to pay $10,000 to PSA to grade a card that's valued over $250K.
How did they get it graded so fast? Too?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. The speed is also a little suspicious, but also Beckett had offered to do a special Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, what is the actual link?
And for some reason, they didn't.
Yeah,
choose
I know
the-
this is good news. So it's good news for the person who's.
It's good news for the person that found it. This is
But
life-changing.
Bad
money.
news for us because we wanted.
I mean, it looks like a sketchy link, but
also,
still
yeah,
curious.
that seems weird as shit. Why would you not? Maybe they just didn't even see the thing about Beckett.
Maybe they didn't.
I
know
just
about
can't
Beckett.
imagine you know about PSA but not Beckett.
Yeah, especially after like this kind of publicity around the
Yeah.
card. But yeah, so it has been apparently authenticated, but I do want to at least put out a little wiggler here that there's a chance that it could be counterfeit. From what I recall.
Yeah,
it
I'm good on
was one
memes for
instance
now.
where a card did get graded,
got
but
a
it was
few
so
videos I want to get through,
It could,
Maybe.
I'm just saying.
and then I need to
I'm saying
decide
it
on a
is, I'm
game
just
to
saying
play.
It could be. It's a one of one, meaning that they had nothing to compare it to. But I imagine if they authenticated it, they had
Can
to
you
go to
imagine
Wizards,
though
right?
if Wizards
didn't
but like
look
what
at it.
we were expecting, where Wizards would hold the card to sell more boxes?
Yeah.
Imagine they did, and this was found, but Wizards knows how much shit they'll get if they say that's not the real card, and they're just like, fuck.
Yeah, how do you know that's not the real card? Well,
Yeah,
you're
because
still
like the
holding
real
it,
card's in my office right now.
It's
Like,
still in my office.
oh
yeah.
man, they're in a pickle. I know this is all just us making things up, but man, are they in a pickle?
It's a speculative
Yeah.
pickle on our head
Yeah,
theory.
as I like to say on the legal side, that card is as fake as I legally can say as a joke.
Why are there audios like
Good
doubling?
news, though, for the-
Yeah, I hope you cash in. I hope you get
Yeah, I
your
hope
money.
you cash
Please
in.
sell the card.
You gotta sell it.
There's a lot of people who'll be like, I'm keeping this. And
It's
hanging
just
it on
out
my
of the
wall."
video, I guess.
Just sell the damn thing.
I don't think there's many people that would turn down $2 million for a Magic the
Would you
Gathering
sell it?
card. Well, we were gonna hold it
That's
ransom
true.
for more
That's
money.
true. It would've been-
Which you're welcome to do, by
Yeah,
the way.
if you want to
if
give
you're
it to
watching.
us, what, we'll pay half price?
Right
Yeah,
after
we'll,
this,
we'll take like a finder.
to be watching
We'll take
pay
a
you
like
a
a
fine.
Sunny
hostage
V2 videos. I don't know if
to
you've
let
ever
us
seen him.
Conduct the ransom.
Gonna put this on as a filler to start off the stream.
Hey, it's that magical moment of the good news segment where we win you a lot of money through the lottery.
Mm-hmm.
Here's this week's Powerball winners coming right up.
Oh, Jesus.
I'm catching a big one.
You know, if the guy would have just played our numbers, or girl, he wouldn't have needed that Lord of the Rings card to sell.
That's true because your first Powerball number is what, Matt?
66.
All right. I'm going back into the money pool. Oh, that's a big duck.
It's
Does you really have to go and place it onto the fucking duck?
We actually make you money. 25.
Mm-hmm.
25, that's a good number.
These sports fans.
What do you think the next one's going to be?
It's gonna be an 8.
That's an 8. Oh, it's a 50. You know what I'm feeling on this one?
Huh.
12.
12. That's like catching a giant tuna. Whoop. Here we go.
Why?
He's on the line. Why is it like catching a giant tuna? I don't know.
44.
I already have like
Hey, far be it
5
from me to
different
question
games
our scientific
that,
method, but these are some high numbers.
I'm just gonna
Simply
spin a wheel later
God reaches through to pull out these numbers.
and see which one I'm gonna play. Cause I have
Alright,
5 different games that I've paid full fucking price for,
last one.
and I have not played one.
Now your Powerball number. Where's those special ducks?
This is gonna be Hogwarts,
That was
Jedi Survivor.
I'm going into a different pond.
I think I'm gonna put Strangers of
Alright,
Paradise
Your
into the
Powerball number.
mix,
2.
All right.
and maybe
Alright,
Hold
let's-
your mic.
Ratchet
So
and
we've
Clank
got-
Rift Apart.
We go smallest to biggest, right?
Yep.
I gotcha.
That's pretty much it. Oh, and I might
All right, we've got
do
Freedom
might put
Force.
Pokemon in it too.
25,
So I haven't played Scarlet or
36.
Violet, but I own both.
44, 50, 66.
and 2.
Man, that's gonna be a crazy Powerball drawing this week when 10 million people win it.
Yeah, they're all gonna get $1,
Yeah.
and it'll be great.
It'll be a big split, and you're
I
welcome.
Of
really
what?
cannot wait for that to happen.
It's gonna happen. I'm
It
feeling
will.
good.
I agree.
All right. And here's Aaron with the Grimace Shake.
Hey Patriots, it's Grimace's birthday, so I'm back to review another special sandwich from a very special restaurant for a very special boy. This is the Grimace meal. I got the purple shirt on, just special for him. It's
I think I'm done with this video. Go to Sunny V2.
Challenges posted to his channel, Beardmeat's Food has failed only 14. So from the earliest to the most recent, we're going to go over each rare example where the restaurant
And
beat
this is the
him,
least
beginning with the
interesting one?
undefeated Yorkshire Pudding Burger, which was the first challenge uploaded to his channel which Beard couldn't finish. When Adam attempted the challenge back in February 2015, he'd been uploading YouTube videos for only 2 weeks, and as a result the production is fairly basic. However, he didn't need multiple angles and a 4K camera to show just how difficult this challenge was. As highlighted in the description, the challenge featured a 40-ounce burger topped with mozzarella chicken, beef brisket, and
If it's a
gravy,
YouTube
accompanied
link, I'll
by a
click
pint
it.
of
If
shake and
it's
a pound
not,
of thick-cut fries. Although over the
I'm not
top of some
clicking any
extra loud
other
music,
link.
Adam explained that the most difficult part of the challenge was
Or
the
you can just,
25-minute time limit.
even better,
which
just
simply
type in
wasn't
the
enough
name
to
of the
finish
video.
Prize, marking the first ever defeat on the Beardmeat's Food channel.
Just couldn't eat quickly enough, and I think that's one thing I'm gonna have to improve on if I'm gonna take it to the next level. So
And while you might be thinking that Beard failed because he was new to professional eating, this couldn't have been further from the truth. Even at the beginning of his channel back in 2015, he'd explained that he was the UK's best professional eater, and only 1 month after he failed the Yorkshire Burger Challenge, he'd beat a giant naan bread challenge that was so difficult you won an overseas holiday just for finishing the meal. This showed that Beardmeat's Food was a
I'm
pro
confident.
even in the beginning, although he still wasn't good enough to beat the 1.2 meter hot dog challenge at Huckleberry's Diner. Attempted only 1 month after the previous failure, the video is still fairly basic, although Beard's able to get a clear shot of the 4-foot monstrosity, which the restaurant gave him an hour to finish. Only 11 minutes into the challenge, Beard is down to the bread, and it seems as though he's going to beat it, but he's then handed another hot dog of equal size, showing that he was really only halfway. Things became even worse.
Just type
after
in the
Beard
name of the
explained that
video.
The chef accidentally used a heavy baguette instead of a light hot dog bun, and for this reason it took Adam more than half an hour just to eat the bread. By the 52
very
minute mark,
paranoid
it looked like
guy.
he was going to finish, although with 1 minute remaining there were still 2 bites left, to
I
which
don't
his
have a
mouth
mod
was saying
on that's
yes,
willing to
but his
check the
stomach
links
was
for me.
saying no. The Beard simply couldn't swallow the final part of the meal, but while this hot dog failure had come down to a matter of 2 mouthfuls, his next defeat was significantly more pronounced when he'd take on the 10-pound cheesecake challenge approximately 9 months later. Undertaken at the very same restaurant where he'd failed the 4-foot hot dog challenge, Beard began by showing that the 10-pound cheesecake was bigger than his head, although he'd also explained that it was a 2-man challenge, so he had a person by the name of John who was there to help him finish it. The only problem was the rules stated that they couldn't both be eating at the same time, so the other guy went first and tapped out after eating only one of the cake's 6 slices. This meant that Adam was left with over 80% of the cake to finish on his own, which he'd do while explaining that the cheesecake was so dense he had to throw it up after attempting the challenge. The Beard had to admit defeat with around 1.5 slices remaining, although he probably gets a pass given it was a two-man job. However, the only excuse for the next challenge he'd fail was that it was simply stupidly difficult. Beard began the video by explaining that he tried the challenge in the past.
I tried this about a year ago, probably a little bit more. It's basically 7 pounds of barbecue food.
And while 7 pounds of barbecue food sounds like a pretty delicious meal, the difficulty of this challenge can only be recognized by reading the list of items involved.
Just give me a second here. This? Is this the right thing?
The Bond's name, James' name. Please to. What? Bond name's the James. Are you alright? Bames knows everything was strong. Call a bondulance.
That just looks like me on a fucking Friday.
12 chicken wings, full rack of ribs, sausages, 6 slices of beef brisket, 2 pounds of fries, coleslaw, 4 bread buns, 3 pots of beans, 1 pot of jalapenos, 5 strips of pork crackling, and mounds of pulled pork, made even more difficult by the explanation that almost all ingredients seem to have doubled in size compared to my last attempt.
I think it was last Friday. Something like that. I think it was Canada Day. Yeah, right. On Canada Day, right before I left four-wheeling, I somehow started my stream. Then I left, went to my cousin's house, got fucking drunk as shit. And then when I got back home, I just like sat at the computer, watched a few YouTube videos. You know, it's nothing of it. Then I like just turned over, rested my head on the desk, and then all of a sudden I started puking in some garbage right next to me. And then the next morning, I wake up, come into the room in my boxers. I look at my screen, I see on Streamlabs, I see myself, I'm like, wait, when did I open Streamlabs? And then I check, and it says end stream. I'm like, fuck, I am live.
And though I'm sure it wasn't intentional,
was a
this
good
meal
time.
was far heavier than 7 pounds. The beard was able to get through an impressive amount of food, however he eventually succumbed to the sheer amount of meat. But in case 7 pounds of barbecue food wasn't already hard enough, only 1 month later he'd upload a new video trying to beat a challenge that was so difficult,
have a good one,
the
too,
restaurant
Knuckles.
had to downsize
Thanks,
the
Duffel
meal
Bag.
afterwards as they realized nobody would ever beat it. Titled the 11-pound chicken and waffles challenge, Adam began by stating that this was going to be his hardest challenge ever.
I'm going to be taking on probably my
Also, thanks
toughest
for the
challenge
follow.
yet. This eating challenge is called No Cooking Chance.
Before going on to explain that he needed to eat 4 Louisiana chickens, 4 deep fried chickens, 8 waffles, onions, onion rings, corn, and 3 pounds of cheese.
Just really not into this one.
51 of the Impulsive podcast, Bobby Lee made one single joke which completely wrecked the relationship between the 3 hosts Logan, Mike, and most notably George.
He's not coming back?
Is he really mad? Is he really mad?
Oh,
I
we
know
have
George.
beef with a guy? I don't...
Yeah,
oh, no,
I didn't
he's-
do anything wrong.
For context, Logan and Mike created the podcast back in late 2018, and it's safe to say that these two have always had excellent chemistry. Their personalities work well together, they seem to be pretty good friends, and generally speaking, they exhibit a similar level of status. Keeping a permanent third host, on the other hand, has proven much more difficult. The first 150 episodes featured a third host named Spencer, who eventually left the podcast to move to Hawaii, after which the role went to Logan's childhood friend Mac, who'd then also leave after getting into a fight with Mike over their difference in interests. On episode 219 in September 2020, the next and most recent third host was announced as George Janko.
Introducing the third co-host of Impulsive, my best friend,
George Janko.
who was certainly different to the previous two. George was introduced as a more emotional counterpart to Logan and Mike, as he had a reputation for wearing his heart on his sleeve, while Logan and Mike were almost the exact opposite. In addition to this, George was a devout Christian, with discussion about his own spirituality, adding another layer of contrast to what had previously been a non-religious show. Outside of Impulsive, George practiced the art of stand-up comedy, although it'd be through comedy that he'd eventually meet his ruin. One thing was glaringly obvious from George's very first appearance. He simply wasn't on the same level as Logan and Mike. Logan has succeeded with everything from vlogs to Prime, while Mike has overcome his own set of challenges and has proven himself as a fantastic interviewer who meshes well with almost every guest on the show. George, on the other hand, has always felt a little too much like, well, just another guy who Logan met at the gym.
Logan, I met him at a gym.
George never had the chance to refine his interviewing skills to the same degree as Logan and Mike, which is only accentuated by his seating position to the right of the guest, making it much harder for George to engage in the conversation. The obvious imbalance between George, Logan, Mike, and usually the guest as well, leaves George with a needy personality and an overpowering desire for approval, leading to over-the-top questions and comments, often producing a clunky viewing experience.
I need to know more about you. Like, how did you figure out that like this entertainment world was your calling?
That's what I was gonna say.
I said it, so.
But I was gonna say.
No, but I said it.
No, it's good. It's good.
I was already funnier than the kids around me, so I was like, I could tell the joke that they're gonna make fun of me, but even better. And I made it about myself. So I was like making fun of myself, like really self-deprecated myself.
Generally speaking, George's attitude wasn't severe enough to upset any of the guests. However, on episode 346 with Shaquille O'Neal, George was slapped in the face with a bit of a reality check. For the first 11 minutes of the podcast, George didn't say a single word, leading Shaq to confront him about his lack of input.
Hold on, you ain't gonna ask me a question? Oh, damn.
He waits. He likes to wait until he's got the Bro, listen, man, I read the Bible a lot when they talk about David and Goliath. I've never seen a giant, and so like I'm literally just, I'm a little taken.
You've been sitting over here for 30 minutes and that's all you can freaking say? Fucking kidding me.
No, he's not gonna say
That's the
shit.
question. Jeez.
I'm just sitting,
Are you drunk?
I have one question. Is there
Okay,
any
thank you.
chance I could, for 2 seconds, put these up so I can hear what's going on?
Take them all. You don't have to ask
Why
the
you asking
producer.
Dylan?
Just take things off.
Okay.
After making the excuse that he couldn't hear due to his headphones, George sat quietly for another 11 minutes, after which he was scolded again.
What the fuck are you doing here? Ask a question. Jeez.
God damn,
Who's your partner?
Shaq.
He's the newest.
You might want to give him his 2-week notice. Ask the question, dude.
Honestly-
Jeez. You're just sitting here like a bobblehead going.
Yeah. No,
Ask the
I'm so
question.
sorry. I didn't want to
Okay.
interrupt you because
No,
I
go
couldn't
ahead.
hear, but.
Go ahead.
And it's safe to say that this put a permanent dent in George's confidence. He'd already joked
Oh,
about
shit.
how difficult it was to be the third host in the past.
It's hard to be the third person on a podcast with,
You wouldn't
two
say.
very vocal main hosts.
And after the Shaquille O'Neal episode, it was obvious that George's confidence had fallen off a cliff.
And then recently, I've been just getting really nervous that I'm not doing well enough for the podcast anymore.
Only 5 episodes after Shaq roasted George, Bobby Lee would join the show for Impulsive 351, during which one single joke would send the show into turmoil. The episode began with Bobby taking a little jab at George by suggesting that Mike was cooler.
You have everything.
Cool friends.
So you have cool friends like this guy. What about him?
Yet things became a little more contentious when George took it from fun to borderline aggressive.
Some people just don't like sucking dick. Now turn around and know the wisdom I give you.
Whoa.
Before displaying more arrogance just a few minutes later.
How about you?
First of all, what's my name?
Sensing George's clear insecurity, Bobby began to roast George
Ended
whenever
up
he
back
got
this
the
up a bit,
opportunity.
so I wasn't really paying attention.
A little jab at George. Obvious that George's confidence had fallen off a cliff.
And then recently, I've been just getting really nervous that I'm not doing well enough for the podcast anymore.
Only 5 episodes after Shaq roasted George, Bobby Lee would join the show for Impulsive 351, during which one single joke would send the show into turmoil. The episode began with Bobby taking a little jab at George by suggesting that Mike was cooler.
You have everything.
Cool friends.
So you have cool friends like this guy. What about him?
Yet things became a little more contentious when George took it from fun to borderline aggressive.
Some people just don't like sucking dick. Now turn around and know the wisdom I give you.
Whoa.
before displaying more arrogance just a few minutes later.
How about you?
First of all, what's my name?
Sensing George's clear insecurity, Bobby began to
I don't know
roast
what your
George
name
whenever
is.
he got the
Pretty sure it's
opportunity.
Ted.
You have a girlfriend?
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Is that your girlfriend? Without fame, you wouldn't get that.
Although the ultimate roast would come after George went on a 2.5-minute monologue about the struggles he faced in his life.
And I don't mean this in a cocky way, but like, dude, this put me on a very strong map, and it made a lot of my avenues blow up. So I'm
It's
very
like that's-
blessed, but I didn't know I was gonna be here. So
It's
for
like
me-
that's. You done? It was just a long monologue.
He was just waiting.
And let me just say something. I loved what you were saying. It was just very long. Yeah,
That's
yeah,
usually
yeah,
me.
yeah.
That's usually.
But you know, I got what you're saying, and you really inspired me, George. Can I say something?
First of all, don't touch me.
Yeah, yeah.
Do not
Okay,
touch
my
me.
bad, my bad. Yeah, we just need writers to edit that down. Like if we had a staff of writers, they'd be like, "Yeah, we'll cut that." But
I'm sorry.
essentially, it was a really good monologue.
Usually when I do my comedy, I don't have writers in the room. I actually write my own stuff.
Okay, I can tell.
I
But
like
maybe you should get a writer. But my point is,
For the rest of the podcast, George went into his own little world, except for when Bobby got his attention
He was
just
just
so he could
pissed
roast him
all the
again.
time.
all right, George.
So sad.
What I'm saying is that
better
when
when
you
I
were
was
talking, we were for that 30 minutes.
Eventually leading George to walk off the podcast, get in an Uber, and leave without saying goodbye. The episode received comments such as, "It's impossible to call yourself a comedian if you can't handle being slaughtered by other comedians, especially the Captain Bob himself." George tells everyone he's going to be the best comedian alive, but he can't take a joke from the legendary Bobby Lee. It's like a badge of honor. How does he think most comedians communicate with each other? I've always thought
Right,
George
just
thinks
fuck
he's
with each
funnier
other.
than he really is. And when people roast him, he gets super butthurt like this generation. Things became worse for George after this video by Jamari gained well over 1 million views, leading George to address the criticism in the following episode of Impulsive by arrogantly stating that he enjoyed all the hatred.
I love that people were just commenting and getting so steamed. It made me realize, like, oh, I really don't care. I want it. I want to be in their heads more. Like, I like it.
Love how George is trying to act like he's not heard about this when he had to leave the pod because Bobby Lee, out of all
Definitely is
people,
heard.
almost made him cry. Dude is a clown. A week after George responded, Logan appeared on Bobby Lee's podcast Tiger Belly, where Bobby took a moment to talk about George's behavior.
What he did was unprofessional. I was a guest. He walked out on a guest. If this guy right here walked out on a guest, he would be reprimanded.
Before roasting him yet again.
If you had walked out, right, it would have been like, oh, it's over. But him walking out was just kind of like, let's keep going.
Bobby and Logan then decided that they should get George on a call.
Can you give me his number?
You want to settle this right now?
Yeah, I'm going to call him right now.
Leading Bobby and George to fix their relationship.
I want to apologize for my behavior on your podcast.
Bobby Lee, you shut your mouth. I'm apologizing to you. I left you. You were our guest.
I want to pull back my apology then. Because I too, because I literally did not feel sorry. I pulled out of the apology. I don't feel sorry, but I will accept yours, right? And hopefully, you know, when I come back to your podcast, we can make it right.
However, it was obvious that the whole thing had caused a serious fracture between George and Logan, becoming most obvious when they get into an almost hour-long argument, only 5 episodes after the Bobby Lee podcast.
I know people that hate me, that treat me better about my faith than you, and you're my best friend. One that really hurt me is you told me I need a therapist because I believe in Jesus. That one hurt me.
No, I didn't. I said you need a therapist because Jesus isn't quite doing it for you,
No, you
which
didn't.
is
No, you
which
didn't.
is true.
No, you didn't.
I said,
I don't want to stand down. No, you didn't. What do I need a therapist for then?
Jesus isn't doing it for you, and I
what do
believe
I need
you're
a therapist for?
I don't believe you're as emotionally mature as you could be.
I'm not emotionally intelligent. Could you pick a time and frame any day of our life?
Here's one. 3 weeks ago, when you were sitting in that chair, you stormed off this exact podcast because you were upset about something a comedian said.
Logan did apologize in their very next episode together.
My attitude towards you on that episode and my belittlement of your beliefs was not appropriate at all.
However, George seemed
For
to
fucking
realize
press.
that his days on Impulsive were numbered, as he'd create his own podcast before clickbaiting the first episode with the title, Why George Janko is Not on Impulsive, implying that he'd left the group. George used the video to explain that this hadn't really happened.
Obviously, I'm still on Impulsive, guys. For any of you guys that are like, oh, their beef situation, and now he's starting his own like lane.
Even going so far as to say their relationship was as good as ever.
Me, Logan, and Mike are in a perfect place.
Yet it was obvious that this clickbait video had annoyed Logan.
I'm just doing this for a couple weeks so then I could leave and clickbait that why I left Impulsive.
That's good. It's a good strategy.
That'll crush.
It's been done. It's been done many times, and it works.
By who? Oh.
Well, you can make a real living for yourself, you know? We've seen the model.
Resulting in more and more uncomfortable moments on the podcast.
You don't give a shit about this show anymore, let's be honest. It's like bands that hate each other that have to get on stage every night and play for the audience. Like, yo, let's do our hit song. We don't like it. We have to sit
That's
here
not
and
true.
pretend
That's
to
not
be
true. I
friends.
like Mike. George,
Well, he's about to
You
redeem
don't say.
He's about to.
Only 3 episodes after comparing themselves to a band forced to play together, George disappeared from the show without warning, leading fans to speculate on whether or not he'd been booted. Mike refused to elaborate on the situation when asked by Aiden Ross.
Why is Georgie not on Impulsive anymore? Is that like you don't answer that?
No, I don't want to talk about that.
Although only 1 month later on an episode of Jeff FM with Mike and Tanner Mojo, Tanner accidentally said this.
We are the new Impulsive. I'm sorry.
We are. It's fine.
Y'all having like a rebrand, like George is leaving. Like, this is it.
At around the same point in time, George unfollowed both Logan and Mike on Instagram, which was followed by Impulsive changing their profile picture from this to this, as well as their banner from this to this. All of this had happened silently with no input from the hosts. However, on the 26th of April 2023, George would post to Twitter, "I wasn't going to talk, but now I am," implying that some pretty heavy stuff had gone down behind the scenes. Replies on the post encouraged George to keep the drama private, yet on the 31st of May, approximately 1 month later, another tweet was made stating, "To the Impulsive fans, I'm so sorry I can't speak about things, not my choice. I do love you guys, and for those of you sending me the clip of them talking shit, it's all love. I've already moved on from that toxic environment," confirming that he was no longer on the podcast. The post received replies slamming George
Feel like
such
the
as,
person
"Mate, you sat there not speaking for
sending you
90% of the
videos
time.
talking
What are we
shit?
missing? Your silence?" To which he'd respond by
I
stating,
just
"You think
wanted you
I
to
wanted to be
feel
quiet,
bad."
ha ha ha." Yet this kind of statement is representative of why he's unsuitable for the podcast. He cares way too much about how other people view him. If you're the type of person who gets defensive and feels like you always have to be in the right, you're probably better suited to a Facebook comment section and not a career on YouTube. Despite this, George has seen some success with the George Janko show, yet Logan hasn't been able to resist roasting George's low view count.
I love this outlet, and it exists because people watch. And without people watching, I just have a show like.
Since then, George
I just have a show like.
Since then, George has stated that he simply wants to distance himself from Mike and Logan.
I'm at a point right now where I want distance from both of them. I don't want anything to do with it, and I just move on.
Which seems to be the best possible outcome for everybody involved. Was this fake? That comment was posted to an early expose of Man vs. Wild Season 1 Episode 5, while Bear Grylls' other survival missions have featured everything from rented horses to volcanic landscapes created by smoke machines. We're gonna go over every available example where Bear Grylls might not have been telling the truth, including multiple responses from the man himself, so you can come to your own conclusion about whether or not the show was real. A TV survivalist caught cutting corners. This was the first example of Bear Grylls being called out for fakery, and it came on the 24th of July 2007, just 4 days after the end of the first season. The article was written after Mark
They fixed it pretty
Weinert,
well
one of
for
the
me
show's
watching it as a kid.
consultants, came forward to talk about the ways in which the first season was staged. Mark began by explaining that while in the Sierra Nevada mountains, Grylls was seen supposedly sleeping under a rock beside a small life-saving fire.
On this little overhang here, here's all I've really got now. Our shelter for the night. It's not very nice.
Yet in all actuality, Grylls instead spent each night at the Pines Resort in Bass Lake, which was advertised as a cozy getaway for families, and is a luxurious hotel with its own spa on a lake, as well as television, stone fireplaces, hot tubs, and internet access. However, this isn't the only part of the episode which has since been exposed as fake. Only a few minutes after waking from the campsite, which he apparently didn't even sleep at, Grylls runs into a group of wild Mustang before talking about how unusual it was was to see them out in the wild.
A chance to use an old Native American mode of transport comes my way. And this is such a privilege to see. They're probably loose horses that have broken free maybe from a ranch.
He spends the next couple of minutes gaining the trust of the wild horses before trying to jump onto one without success, which is interesting as, according to a Reddit post, Bear Grylls breaking a wild Mustang was actually a choreographed scene shot with a domesticated horse from a nearby ranch. The post included a video which has sadly now been deleted, yet there are comments on other websites to back up the claim, such as, the wild horses in the American West are uncombed skittish wild creatures with scrapes and cockleburs, not the gentle manicured saddle horse which was seen in that episode, alongside YouTube comments such as, I grew up near Reno, Nevada and spent a lot of time watching wild horses. The proof that he never roped a wild horse, he's still alive. On top of this, Mark Weiner then explained that Season 1 Episode 9, in which Grylls is supposedly surviving on a scarce desert island, was actually filmed off the coast of Hawaii, where Grylls spent his evenings in a motel. During the same episode, Grylls can be seen making a bamboo raft on the beach, which even included a fishnet sail, yet this was also debunked after Weiner had explained he actually led a team of builders to construct the raft. It was then taken apart so that Grylls could be shown building it on camera. However, it was Season 1 Episode 5 on Mount Kilauea that was the most suspicious of them all. At the beginning of the episode, Grylls was supposedly walking on an active volcano, shown by sulfur dioxide gas which was steaming from the surface.
Sulfur dioxide gas forms in volcanoes, and here it's really thick. Look at this, you can actually see the sulfur dioxide here seeping out of these vents.
However, after the episode went live, one of the show's safety instructors explained to the Sunday Times that the white clouds of poisonous sulfur dioxide that billowed around the former SAS Explorer were in fact harmless vapor created by smoke machines. And according to insiders, the red glow of the molten magma, which he warned could incinerate him in seconds, was supplemented by burning hot coals brought in by members of the production team. Sulfur dioxide fumes are colorless and you can't see it, so smoke generators were used off screen to make the existing fumes seem visible. Later in the episode, Grylls talks about being far from civilization before explaining that crossing the terrain was dangerous due to lava cracks in the ground.
Crossing these fragile fissures can be dangerous, but there is a way to do it. Sometimes you get these lava bridges that cross them over, but you've got to be really careful crossing these, just because you don't know what's solid and what's hollow underneath.
Jumps on it.
However, when a YouTuber called Volcano Chaser uploaded a video titled Ream Man vs Wild Bear Grylls is a phony, this segment was also debunked. The video showed that just behind the camera, the lava crack came to an end and could have simply been walked around, which became even worse after it was shown that Grylls was not far from civilization and was rather right next to a major highway. To add a cherry on top of the cake, the video description exposed other parts of the episode by stating, most of the scenes in the show don't exist in the area he was supposed to be in. Avocado trees, lava tube, tropical forest, fissures, and landing site are all in different parts of the island and separated by up to 50 miles. I've hiked this area hundreds of times. These fissures are unique to a small area on the summit and are a very popular tourist viewing area. They're only a few hundred feet long and easy to go around. Only the phony bear seems to have trouble crossing them. The fissures are located next to the parking area where cars can be seen on the Crater Rim Drive shown on the clip, although there was still more trickery that wasn't being made obvious to the audience. Survival expert Nick Vrumans worked with Bear Grylls on Season 1 Episode 13 in the Australian outback, after which Nick stated that even the script itself was pre-planned. He'd expand on this by stating everything you see in the show is set up. I built him shelters and found him snakes to eat. On the show broadcast to Europe and the US, you see him catch a snake, kill it, and eat it. But it was actually two snakes. A roadkill that I found which he was shown beating on the head and eating, and then a live olive python that a wildlife carer had been rehabilitating, which was followed by Grylls also exposing the segment where Grylls was almost attacked by a crocodile, stating the whole crew was petrified of the crocodiles. Bear didn't want to get anywhere near the water, so he filmed a setup of him like he was near a crocodile when he was actually a safe distance away. I was a bit miffed when I saw the finished show. As a result of the media ripping each episode to shreds, Bear Grylls was given a chance to respond to the controversy during a live talk show.
And then we heard somebody complaining that they said, no, he's down the road at the Motel 6. He's not really out there surviving.
The way we film these things is over 6 days, and when I'm filming the live night stuff out, I'm out where
you know, it's in a camel carcass or up a tree. And then when we're not filming the night stuff, I'll stay with the crew, you know, wherever that is, whether it's in a, you know, tented camp area in the
You can just
Sahara
put it
or
like
jungle lodge, you know, in a rainforest. or
Apparently
whatever.
not.
Grills would then issue a public apology stating, "If people felt misled on how the first series was represented, I'm really sorry for that." He added, "I'm the person that takes the rap for these things, even though I'm not always involved in the editing side of it," which was followed by the show promising to be 100% transparent going into the future. To cover themselves, the second season opened with a disclaimer. However, it's not like this did anything to convince viewers of the show's authenticity. If I had to choose one person to be stranded on a desert island with, it would be Bear Grylls. That way he would have his crew with him, and they'll probably pay for us to stay in a nice hotel or something, which became even worse after the show was exposed for a different stunt. During the episode in the African savannah, Grylls is shown squeezing water out of elephant dung, which by itself didn't seem all that troublesome. However, when Canadian survival expert Les Stroud, host of the show Survivor Man, responded to the episode in a Reddit AMA, he debunked the strategy by stating, "Many of the actual survival skills taught are bogus. It's not possible to squeeze drinkable water out of elephant dung.
Yeah,
well,
wouldn't
it is
think.
if your cameraman has soaked it with bottled water." I would even go so far as to say that some of the skills, if followed and attempted in a real survival situation, could
Kill ya.
result in worsening the situation, with this comment coming alongside a few instances of Les Stroud dissing Man vs. Wild for its lack of authenticity.
I was wondering if you've ever had the opportunity to meet Bear Grylls. I haven't, because I'm out overnight and there's nobody else out there.
What are your thoughts on Bear Grylls?
If you wanted to learn about archaeology, would you get it from Harrison Ford?
A lot of fresh water around here. It's a good thing, too. Otherwise, I'd be reduced to probably having to drink my own pee. Yeah, right.
There are YouTube videos as well as full-blown websites dedicated to the poor advice that Bear Grylls is given, with many stating that this constitutes fakery, while others have made the point that Grylls was simply showing survival techniques, and it therefore didn't matter if the shots were set up or not. It's a show to teach you how to survive certain scenarios. To have every survival stunt to be real every single episode would be both dangerous and illogical. He teaches survival techniques. It's obviously irrelevant if he's really facing those perils or not. The point is, it's entertaining and informative. He was teaching people how to survive if they were in that situation, as if he's not risking his life for a freaking TV show. Whether or not setting up the shots constitutes fakery is up for debate. However, a YouTuber by the name of Lo the Show seems convinced that even when set up, a different Bear Grylls stunt is completely impossible, eating a snake.
Even with the guts and skin on, you can eat them straight like this.
What the fuck did he eat?
Not possible.
Although in other episodes, Bear Grylls has shown himself eating snakes in their entirety, so I wouldn't call the video by Lo the Show all that much of a debunk. However, if we want slightly better evidence, we have to look at a video posted by Justin Wallace titled "Climber Cringe Bear Grylls Confirmed Top Roper." Justin, who's clearly an avid climber, spends the video criticizing an advertisement in which Bear Grylls is climbing a difficult route in Utah. Grylls is shown to be using all the wrong gear.
Guess we're using the Mountaineer's coil, which you don't really do, especially when you're trad climbing in Moab, because it just kinks up your rope. Sorry, bud, but a single wire gate on your harness isn't gonna do much for you.
Tying all the wrong knots.
What the hell knot is that? Kinda looks like a bowline, but not really.
And even climbing the wall incorrectly.
I don't even see his last piece. He's like 40 feet run out right there. You're gonna die, man. Oh, and there's so many good placements too. What is he doing? There's no way he is holding his body weight with that one hand in that crack right there. And his 2 feet are just sticking out on nothing. His crew is definitely pulling his fat ass up there on a 3-to-1. There's no way he's climbing that.
The original rock climbing video has a dislike ratio of almost 75%
Really?
and features comments such as, "Gotta give him credit for really committing to the BS. Interesting skills he has in climbing. This is just ridiculous. Wow, it could be impressive if it was not fake. As a climber, it's obvious that the heli dropped him at the top and he made some shots rappelling down. I used to like him, disappointing." You could make the argument that Grylls gets a pass given it was filmed for an advertisement, but does he get a pass for an article titled "Bear Grylls Show Accused of Fakery Again" after the island's ordinary men exposed as trained professionals? According to the article, the island by Bear Grylls introduced what was supposed to be 13 ordinary men are about to be abandoned on a Pacific island with just the clothes they stand up in and a few tools. But there was no mention that Rupert Smith had worked in war zones and extreme environments, including a long alongside Grills as director of Channel 4's Escape to the Legion. Similarly, there was no introduction to cameraman Dan Etheridge, who also worked with Grills on Discovery Channel's Man vs. Wild. Kif McManus, a sound recordist with 10 years experience in some of the world's most dangerous places, also failed to get a mention.
Wow.
The article also revealed that two
They really had
crocodiles
pros.
had been manually released onto the island, and that the rare source of fresh drinking water found by those on the show was actually a rubber-lined pool set up by the production crew. Channel 4 responded
Now
to
you
the
want to go
featuring of
upstairs,
trailers-
eh? God damn it. I'll be right back. Rika. There you go. Lay down, girl. Puxa. Puxa.
Professionals by stating, it clearly states in the program voiceover that train crew are part of the experiment, living under the exact same conditions as the other men. Like all of the men on the island, their professions are captioned on screen and their backgrounds are discussed. Biographies are also on the Channel 4 website, before going on to address the crocodiles and drinking water by stating, we had to ensure the island's only water supply, a muddy pool, would last through filming in the dry season, and that there was enough native animals and native vegetation that could sustain the men for 28 days, as long as they had the ingenuity to find it, catch it, and kill it, which you have to admit is a pretty decent statement.
I mean, that's
Are
what I
you
was gonna
smarter
watch.
than the average person? Statistically, half of you should be saying no. So let's make it a little bit easier. Are you smarter than the average esports pro? It might
Probably
seem
not.
like a dumb question, but think about it. Someone who dedicated their life to be amazing at just one thing must have let some things slip through the cracks. Their general knowledge is probably pretty bad. Or at least, that's my theory. And I wanted to test this theory. So I got two of the greatest
Curious
esports
about
players of
theories,
all time to go against two average people to find out who's actually smarter. For the control test, I thought of the two most average people I could think of, my best friend and my stepfather. Our first contestant, my best friend and a 33-year-old man with a college degree. Welcome to the Car Slime. How you doing?
What's up, my bear? How you doing?
And your teammate today, a 59-year-old stepfather of me. I think he went to Columbia University. Welcome, Peter.
Hey, how are you doing?
Doing well. It was Columbia, yeah?
You went to Columbia?
I did.
He also served.
Undergrad.
He also served.
You served?
Yep.
Serving looks. Say that much.
Well, not in the army. Okay. The first person, he's the best in the world at Super Smash Bros. Melee. It's Zane. Come on, Zane. Welcome to the car. How you doing, baby?
Good. We're doing carpool karaoke.
A little close to carpool karaoke. And the other person we have is the GOAT of Super Smash Bros. Melee, Mango.
Wait, what'd you call me?
Love that introduction.
Don't worry about it.
Oh.
Just get in the car.
You're like top 5, dude.
The game is called Mobile Money. It's basically a ripoff of Cash Cab. The way it works is simple. There are 3 total rounds, easy, medium, and hard, and 5 questions per round. If you get one right on the first round, $50, then $100, then $200. Whichever team ends up with more money wins. But to make things a little bit spicier, I added a final question. In that final question, you'd be able to wager up to $1,000. AKA, you could make a lot of money or lose it all. Now to answer the one question, who's smarter, esports pros or your average person? This video is not sponsored by Toyota, by the way, but they did give me this Prius to use, so thank you to Toyota.
I'm ready. I'm ready to earn an assorted amount of gift cards.
Affirmative.
Okay, let's jump into it. Our first
You
easy
know, a
question.
small code on that.
Name the 3 states of matter.
You got this one. Yeah. This is easy. You got it? Peter's got it.
Do I need a buzz?
No buzzer. Just talk with Mango, figure it out.
No idea. It's solid, liquid, and gas.
That's final answer.
Final answer.
Mango, you
Oh, what up, Kiefer?
What was
Zero idea.
What would you have said?
Just watching videos, then I'm gonna decide
It doesn't matter.
what
You don't
fucking
need
game I
your
want to
team.
do.
Zane, congratulations. That was correct. You carried the Zane Mango tier.
Solid, gas, and liquid.
Correct. Great job, Peter. 59 years pays off. Going to our next question.
Plasma's the 4th one.
Wait, there's 4?
No. What? What do you say no? I learned this in school.
Nah, I'm with Peter on this one.
Okay,
Shut
well,
up.
I was
Stop
just
talking.
I was fucking around. I was
Stop
just, I was
talking.
just
You're
making
being
a joke.
weird.
I was making a joke.
I'm gonna turn it around. Next question. You're both American.
Okay.
Name the vice president.
It's the girl, right?
Yeah.
I'll help you.
I was gonna do that.
Kamala Harris.
I also want to do Hogwarts.
Kamala Harris.
I want to do Jedi Survivor.
How many jumps did you see?
And I want to do Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart.
Yeah. Like Tamika. Fuck it.
It's Kamala.
And Pokemon.
Harris.
Kamala Harris. That's right.
Okay, that is correct. $100 locked up. Zane seems to be carrying, but don't feel bad, Mango, because same thing happened in the previous round. Peter was carrying slime. All right, well, let's go to question 3. You're at $100.
Yeah,
These
I
are
think I'm
easy
just
ones.
gonna,
What is the largest bone?
a little later, just gonna make a wheel, put the names of the games on it, and just spin.
My first instinct is funny bone.
See what I fucking get.
I'm down to just ride funny bone.
No. We can't just say funny bone.
Why?
What about like the femur?
Are we locking this in, or is it funny bone?
Locking
Lock
in
it
femur.
That is correct.
Oh, let's go.
Where did that come from?
It's the only one that I know by name.
We're gonna say final answer the femur.
Lock it in, $150.
So smart. We're so smart and cool.
Did
we
you
both
know
know karate.
Combined, your age is 92. Next question. Roughly, how many stars are in our solar system?
Oh shit, I haven't showed you what I've been up to with a Gundam, have I?
Feel free to talk between yourselves.
I got that, dude. When it comes to shit like this, I know nothing.
If it's roughly, it's got to be like a million, billion, trillion, right?
I won't accept that. I won't accept a million, billion, trillion.
No, like one of those.
Oh, okay.
Oh, dude.
Bullshit as in it's
Okay,
fucking
Peter's gonna mix
complicated.
your dumbass up on this one. Hit him with it.
1.
Wow. You weren't fooled? Were you fooled a little bit, Slam?
100%. I was like, that sounds like a hard question.
There is only one star in our solar system. It's known as the sun.
Oh,
Great job.
Jesus Christ.
God damn it.
That's not. That's not exclusive to our solar system.
That's actually so true.
I mean, it's so endless. It's got
Hey, look at this.
Yes.
Trillion.
Started
That
to
is incorrect. The correct answer
paint the
one
custom
star.
Gundam.
It's known as the sun.
Did Peter get that?
Only got like
Yes,
part
they
of the
did.
leg done right now.
That was an easy one.
Did he laugh and scoff at how easy it was?
Yeah, he went trick question. Slime, it's 1 star.
Oh no.
And then they nailed it. We're on to our final question on the easy round. Name the second
And I built
largest
this
country
yesterday.
in the world by land size.
Oh, the second. Okay. We're gonna say final answer.
Pretty massive.
Canada.
You're locking in our northern brothers?
Absolutely.
That's correct.
Let's go! Yeah! Oh my God.
Second?
Yeah.
There's a lot of people in China.
That's true.
I do know that.
The second largest population. I know that.
Well, surely they have a lot.
I'm in that
Yeah. Let's
fucking
Russia.
That is
big one I got.
That is the largest country
Actually,
in the world.
like one of the
Second
biggest
largest
high
is
grades you
Canada.
can get.
What?
It's the Canadians.
Fucking Canada.
Did Peter get that?
Peter
Wait,
got that.
I'll show you.
Easy, bro.
Peter
You
got that.
I'm getting a little carried in the easy section. I'm
Yeah,
not gonna lie.
You haven't done shit.
That's not true.
It is true. Well, you guys went 5 for 5.
So this is a
on the
normal
round. I'll say
high
thanks to
grade.
Peter, but 5 for 5 is 5 for 5. You
And
locked
this
up
is-
$250. Are you guys ready for the medium round? It's gonna be a little.
This is a
harder.
big high grade.
All right.
Not for, not for this equal team of brains.
Well, wouldn't say that. Nobody in this car would. $100 for every question answered correctly. There are 5 total. First question: who invented gunpowder? Specifically, in which country was gunpowder invented?
I haven't put the shield on the big one yet because
I was gonna say France.
I'm waiting. I'm gonna sand it
China.
so it looks a little bit
Final
better.
answer? That is correct. Curse the Chinese for inventing gunpowder.
That's from the rehearsal.
Yes. It turns out that you learn watching TV.
Did you see the Nathan For You show? No. Okay, well, me and Ludwig watched that one.
Curse the Chinese for inventing
That's
gunpowder.
right, yeah. We're gonna say final answer China.
Final answer, China. That is correct.
Let's
Curse
go.
them indeed.
It's crazy that you knew that without watching.
Got all the shit I needed to paint now
that is a
too.
good Peter, how did you know that?
So my Gundam,
I'm a Renaissance.
my custom painted Gundam should be done
Does that just mean
in like
you
2
sit on
days.
Wikipedia for too long?
Nah, just a nerd.
Okay, cool. Great. Next
So
question.
just earlier today I went and I
Human organ.
painted all the orange parts.
Not. It's not a question.
I mean, it's called the large intestines.
Is that the one that like goes like this? It's like 100 miles long.
I think you're right.
The thing, right?
Yeah,
Like,
the thing.
What's the final answer?
Large intestines.
The large intestines.
Yeah.
Multiple?
Make me feel like a dumbass.
I'm just asking questions.
Me and Peter have come to a conclusion.
So why aren't you just making the emotes on the computer?
Is the skin final answer?
Okay. It doesn't feel
Is it
like
just because you found something on the iPad that you have more options?
Many conclusions. But Peter is part of the team, so you have locked up $450. Good job, Peter.
Together. So well, Peter and Tony Starr.
Yeah, Peter and Tony Starr. Perhaps a trick question because you think of organs inside the body, but the skin is an organ.
Maybe it's the liver.
I'm down with liver. Liver's pretty big. I've seen pictures.
Let's go with liver.
That is incorrect.
What was it?
The correct answer, the skin.
What?
The skin is the largest
No way
organ.
Peter got that.
Which 2 countries share the longest land?
I wouldn't even got that.
Russia and China. Maybe it's like Chile or something kind of goofy.
Don't say it like that.
Us in Mexico. Fuck it.
Yeah?
It's pretty long.
We're going with U.S. and Mexico.
Yeah.
Dude, come on.
What is it?
It's
I'm
U.S.
just
and Canada.
message tip.
It's just
that
the
makes
other
sense.
side.
We were close.
We can't go back to Canada. We can't keep farming them.
That's pretty hard.
Let's go for it. The United States of America and Canada.
Sure you don't want to go with Russia?
No, Privyet.
That is correct. It is the
let's
U.S.
go.
and Canada.
Dude,
Can you
I
see how
almost
fast he
love
made that $100 bill with my face on
That's a
it?
sentence that I'm sad my stepfather is saying out loud.
Canada has had it too good, Peter, for too long.
It's true, Peter. Next question here. What is the Roman name for the Greek hero Hercules?
Roman stuff is my wheelhouse, Peter.
Well, it's gotta be a planet, right?
I need to make another few emotes too, though, because I want some of the free emotes.
Maybe it's like Hercules.
Are you just saying Hercules with some swag?
Yes.
Hercules?
Yes.
I'll give it to you. The
So
correct
why
answer.
wouldn't you just give it to him?
The correct
He's
answer
trying
is
to bait me.
because the correct answer is Hercules.
It is the same.
The same thing?
It's the
Okay.
same thing. It's
Yeah,
a trick
it's
question.
the same thing, but sauce.
Peter's gonna let me defer to myself on this one. Tony Starr and Peter, the team, the dream team, is gonna say Heracles. Final answer.
That is the first incorrect answer from your team today. The correct answer, Hercules.
No, you piece of shit.
The Greek name for the hero Hercules is Heracles, but the Roman name is Hercules.
Dude.
Although perhaps a little more well known because the movie Hercules.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Guido as the imp.
Well, look, it was a trick question. I won't
Having
lie.
a
I
few
tried to throw
emotes
you
like
guys off,
that.
and I successfully did, but you got every other question correct, and you still locked up $550.
Okay.
So let's go to the final medium question before we get to the hard ones. How many keys does a piano have?
'Cause the emotes you have right now are just very basic, right?
A piano can have a lot of keys. 88 is the max size, an 88 key piano.
I have no idea.
Really?
This is all on you.
I might know this one. We are gonna say 88 keys. Final answer.
Lock it in. Slime, you've actually impacted the team in a positive way. Congratulations, $100.
Yes. Let's go.
$650 total.
80 something sounds like some trivia that I've heard before. It's either 82 or 86, and I don't know why I have that in my head.
Yeah.
So close.
Okay.
We're on to the hard round. Every correct question gets you $200.
Okay.
First question is a bit of a tough one. The first 5 presidents were all founding fathers. They're the only presidents to be founding fathers. What are their names?
George Washington.
Okay.
That's one.
I'll see if you miss any.
I forget if I
Really good idea there,
check your
Slime.
work.
Let him answer.
put up my
Make sure
sub
to-
badges.
Yeah, he's on the $10 bill.
No, he's not.
George Washington, John Adams,
Or does the sub badge only show up after 3 months?
Jefferson, James Madison, and John Quincy Adams.
Mango, anything to add in?
Sounds good.
That is incorrect.
Who was the 5th?
You actually named the first 4 presidents and then the 6th president. John Quincy Adams was not one of the founding fathers. The 5th was James Monroe.
Don't shake your head.
You gotta know that, bro.
I think this is a lot. I don't know it. If you don't know it,
I don't know. I don't know who the other 2 are.
all right. Well, we're gonna say George Washington, John Adams, and
There's
Thomas
2
Jefferson.
You guys giving up here?
Yeah.
This is the hard round, so don't beat yourselves up. You were close. The final 2 we were looking for is Monroe and Madison.
Don't you work in law? So they don't test you this when you do your.
Don't you work in law?
It's some bullshit.
Wow, this round is gonna be hard for you guys. At what temperature? does
Officers
water
are fucking idiots.
That one's easy. Yeah. I once made fun of a girl I was dating because she didn't know this, and then I asked the whole group. I was like, "Hey, do you guys know what temperature water boils at?" And most of the group, you guys didn't know. So I just looked like a jerk.
Yeah, it's just weird to make fun of people in general for their lack of knowledge.
She just did it, and she was so off. Anyway, we're gonna say 212 degrees Fahrenheit, 100 degrees Celsius. Final answer.
You guys are right on the money, $200.
That was
I also need to check
That should have been an easy round.
We'll see, right? We'll see because we're
reviews
gonna
for
jump over
Jedi
to the
Survivor.
Smash car and see how esports pros do compared to 2
if
normies
it's
like
fixed,
you.
because I might
and I
not
don't
even
think
put
they'll
it
be
in
so
the
confident
rotation.
on that one. What temperature does water begin to boil?
108 Fahrenheit.
Little mixed reviews recently.
No, 108 Fahrenheit's like the temperature of a hot
jacuzzi.
spa. Yeah, it's like a jacuzzi. Let's go to the next hard question.
Okay.
Who invented the World Wide Web?
What? I mean, so the joke answer here is Al Gore. Al Gore classically has claimed that he invented the internet.
I know, but that's not true.
But that can't be true. It has to be some like Russian guy.
No.
Free market wins again.
Oh, looks like
He laughed.
Jedi Survivor is still shitty.
It wasn't Al Gore, and it
You're
wasn't
so
it wasn't
fucking
it wasn't
idiot.
a Russian guy.
I'm so sad I have to give you money because you're so fucking dumb. You don't deserve a penny. I'll just take the first name. It's a common first name. If you can get it, I'll give it to you. Who invented the World Wide Web?
Common first name?
Peter.
It's not Peter.
Was it the army?
No, it was the guy out of MIT.
I'll take just the first name if you can find it. I'll tell you
Dude,
it's a common first name.
What a free up. John is statistically so smart.
John.
We're gonna go with John. Final answer.
John Webb.
Oh.
Yeah, we're gonna say John.
It's actually the
Yeah,
same
the
answer
reviews
Peter
say
and
that
Tom gave,
Port's still
and
kind of ass.
It's incorrect. The correct answer is Tim. Tim Berners-Lee.
Tim Berners-Lee? Did you? Does that ring a bell?
I'm about to just buy it on
Only two
PS5.
questions left in the hard round. Are you guys ready for the next one?
Ready to
I
crack
said
the
Ratchet
I
and
think give you a
Crank.
chance here.
Gotta get one hard.
Clank.
This is a geography question.
Um,
What is the smallest
Hogwarts.
country in the world?
Vatican City. Yeah, I want to say Vatican
That's
City.
correct.
Let's go.
I actually knew that. I would have got that one.
You knew that?
Okay.
Because I want to take my grandma there. It's the
Wait.
only reason I know that.
Where's the Vatican?
Strangers of
Yeah?
Paradise.
Let's go. We're gonna go with the Catholic Orthodoxy.
Do
We're
I
gonna go
add
with the Vatican
Pokemon?
final answer.
That is correct.
Let's go! That's 1,000, baby. Let's go.
Only one question left in the hard round. Are you ready to jump into it?
Let's finish it up. Let's clean it. Let's tap it in.
Yep.
How many bones does a shark have?
You trick
Oh.
bastard.
That's a trick question.
It has to be.
0. It's all cartilage.
Incorrect. It's 227.
Dude, are you kidding me?
How would we know that?
That's insane. Are you kidding me?
Well, I'm just gonna go with
Made
3
it
games.
sound like-
Dude, I'm so.
Alright, I'm gonna spin for these. Hogwarts it is. Hey Adam, nothing much. I'm apparently about to play
Zerg when he gets
Hogwarts.
blasted off.
In the
You
meantime, I
guys
was just
were
watching
correct.
videos.
It was correct. 0 bones was correct. I
Oh,
lied.
let's go. Give it
Yeah,
to me.
baby.
Oh my God.
I just wanted to fib a little.
Ooh,
How many bones?
I don't know
does
if
a
that
shark
came
have?
through the mic.
Dude, what? That's like the hardest question.
It was a good rip.
Ooh. Oh.
Think about it. They're all like,
Yeah.
they don't have a bone.
Wait a minute.
That's correct.
That's huge.
Must have been some
That
pollen
is
in that
huge.
part.
Wow.
Did Peter get that?
He did get that, but I'm amazed that Mango got nothing right, and then he got $400
He had
worth
Vatican
of questions
City.
right.
I
He
kind of
got
really
the last
wanted
two.
to play Ratchet
He
and
got the last
Clank.
two hard
He's a late
ones.
game player.
He is a late game
Gotta
player.
go with the wheel.
You guys have locked up $1,250. There is a bonus question, however. You can wager up to $1,000, but it is a wager. If you get the question wrong, then you lose all of that money. If you get the question right, then you get all of that money.
Oh boy.
I'll tell you the category. The category is games.
Wait, Peter, what if we just did it all?
Oh jeez.
Let's just do it.
That's the way you lose.
I know, but like if we win, that's amazing.
I know. Do you go to Vegas?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Actually, Strangers of Paradise would have probably been the worst
I
pick.
have to wager all because every time I watch a game show and the end and the people just walk away, I get so.
It is
mad.
very unsatisfying.
Yeah. So for the content and for the glory, I think we wager it all.
All of
Okay.
it.
$750 wagered. If you win it, you get $1,500.
Mm-hmm.
The question, can you name the 4 corners of a Monopoly board?
Pass go, jail, free parking, and then what is top right?
I'll take on the fucking
Right?
Run it.
That's correct.
Hogwarts.
Everyone knows.
He's a
that.
late game player. He's a late game player.
Probably gonna completely restart the game.
I actually love Monopoly, so that was very lucky.
Holy shit, $1,500. I'm amazed.
Now, it's pretty clear that Mango and Zane do lack some general knowledge, but they are clutch. And even though they missed most of the questions, they got all of the important ones right. And they had the balls to wager $1,000, something Peter doesn't seem like he's willing to do.
What else is there to watch? I want to watch something quick and interesting. Yeah, it's probably better for me playing it now than it was 2 months ago. About
How you going? Now, I don't know about
what's this?
you, but whenever I bump into an old person tottering slowly
Downloading
down the street,
Hogwarts.
I'll go over here. Yep.
Probably
I
started
always
in
think to
just a bit.
myself, I could take him. But I don't, because I'm a normal human being. And I've definitely
Also,
never
Adam, I
considered
put up new,
electrocuting me 50,000 volts for 30 seconds
ways to
until they
redeem
die.
channel
But
points.
That's exactly what some people did last month in Australia, when a 95-year-old woman with dementia was killed by coppers with a taser.
I mean, I just get high as fuck on my own, but
Tasered by police in her aged care home, dying tonight.
there now.
All because she was holding a knife and walking around with her walking frame in a nursing home. Then after she approached
Oh,
cops
fucking
at
evil,
a
hopefully.
slow pace, they tasered her. and
I
she
didn't even
died.
know there was a difference.
So today I'm going to try and make a device that shows that we might not need
gonna be
to
a
kill
cat.
unarmed people.
Oh,
now, I
fuck, of
actually
course,
made this
Kiefer goes for
manufacturing
the
device
bigger
a couple
toke.
of years ago, but it was really bad. It didn't work properly.
Asshole.
It snapped, and I also only tested it on a 14-year-old child. Worst of all, it had a locking mechanism in the jaws that would prevent it from opening once closed. But that button for locking and opening was in the jaws, in reach of the person you captured, so they could just press
I
the
think
button
going
and free
evil,
themselves.
you get the
So
best
not
spells out of it,
manufacturer.
right?
And a couple of things have changed since that video 3 years ago. I've discovered the magic of welding and metalwork, so I can make it stronger and scarier with spikes, and also my moral
I don't really
compass
know
has
much about the
decreased.
Harry Potter world,
To
but I
start,
know
I need to design the closing
that this game
mechanism.
had
And
like
I've always
dark
thought
magic or
bullets
something
have
like that.
really beautiful jaws which overlap and seem to lock. So I just grabbed an ant
Ah,
from
give
my
me a
garden
second there.
and did a sketch of its mandibles. Come back. Now I want this to work by having these jaws on the side here which have spikes, which move towards each other and lock in a closed position when these two metal bars get pushed towards each other. So to test if the mechanics work, I made it out of cardboard, which is definitely too floppy to even catch the floppiest of old people, but I think I'm on the right track here.
I don't think that was it,
Then I
Kiefer.
made a prototype out of wood, and after fiddling around with the dimensions, it seems to close alright and
Wait,
isn't that floppy.
wait.
Which means it's time for me to spend $100 on metal and cut out my design with my mate's plasma cutter.
Okay,
And
maybe.
This really is the kind
Maybe
of
it wasn't.
thing you need a CNC plasma cutter for, as after only 10 minutes, I'm already sweating, my back's sore, and my feet are pretty badly burnt.
Oh, you being hydrated still at 500?
I finished all the simple pieces, and I didn't want to screw up the more complicated jaw-shaped pieces, as I found it really hard to even follow a straight line. So instead, just bought 2 jaws from the jaw section of the local hardware store. Then, I cleaned off all the unnecessary sharp bit on the belt sander and also made them all the exact same size, then drilled the holes. And the more I drill, the more excited I get to see if I've wasted $100 on metal. And after bolting it all together, it seems to kind of work. And also looks
Oh,
way
Adam,
cooler than I thought it
hydrate
would
now
when it
is
closes
just
up. But this doesn't
hydrate,
mean
you
it
know?
will catch a person. Okay, now I just need to put
Drink
this whole
water.
thing on the end of 2 pipes that are inside each other. And the inside pipe will have a handle that I can pull to close the whole mechanism. Now when I was designing this thing, I thought I would just cut a slot and put this piece in here and then weld the crescent piece in. But I forgot that I need this hole in the pipe to remain a hole, as the other pipe is going to be moving.
Oh, man, that's
inside
what I'm gonna
it.
have to
So
name
I'm
my
gonna try something really
character.
smart or really dumb. I
Harry
don't know
Pot
yet.
Smoker.
I marked the dimensions of the pipe on the piece and then cut 90% of the way through the metal and then welded it in place.
Oh,
So
yeah.
now I just
By
need
the
to
time
cut
this
the
video is
remaining
done,
bit
though.
inside the pipe. And if
Game
I
will
cut
be
the whole
ready
thing
to
in half
go.
before, it would be very hard to align both pieces perfectly straight with each other,
Little
especially
bastard,
when they
Harry.
warp from welding. So now that I've tack welded it, I just need to cut the inside pieces. See? Easy.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to switch it. I just didn't think of it at the time.
Then I just welded it permanently in place. Now I know I'm not meant to
Can't be
weld
Harry Cat.
galvanized pipe, as it releases poisonous fumes or whatever, but I am taking precautions by wearing a mask and working in a really well ventilated garage. But this is something I've never seen before. If anyone knows what this
Cock the pot
poisonous
smoker.
looking death spider web that's coming out of the steel, please let me know.
It's too bad I don't
Okay,
have a
now this
fucking
pipe that
wizard
goes
hat.
inside the other one also gets a slot in it,
Then
and then
we'd be
is
balling.
welded to this piece. And now I get to see how the whole mechanism moves around.
Please work. Yes. No, I'm gonna. Yes. Yes. I'm gonna raise the price for taking a
And it's a
drink of
bit
whiskey.
stiff, but seems to work alright, and the pieces line up with each other. So next, I cut a little peepee
Been a
hole in the
week
big
and
pipe
3
that
days
will allow
since
me
I
to
haven't drank
access the
either.
small pipe. And my plan was to cut a sideward slot in the big pipe
Hey,
and
so
then weld a handle
think-
to the small pipe so I can lock the mechanism in place to the side like a bolt action rifle or something. But
was
I
it
realized a
last
big
Friday
problem.
that
I
I
can't
drank?
actually turn the inside pipe because the whole jaw structure is attached to it. So I'm going to have to come up with something else.
Take the toke.
And this camping chair might help. So I pulled off the leg and found this little knob spring thing, which I'm going to steal to put inside the small pipe. And Rick, if you're watching this, I know I told you that
Not
your
even fully
camping
recovered
chair
from the
broke
big
when I
tip?
slammed it in the front door of my car, and then you were really angry about it. And then you went
Gonna
into the
start off
forest
Harry
looking
Potter
for a
and it's
log
gonna
to
be
sit
like,
on, and
oh,
you brought a
fuck.
big one back. But then the ranger shouted at you because collecting logs degrades the natural habitat and biodiversity. Yeah, that was my fault, and I'll buy you a new one. Okay, so now the moment of truth. Did I destroy Rick's camping chair?
Yeah,
for a
don't
good
blame me
reason?
there, Kiefer.
You did it. First go. And it looks like I did.
After
So next, I
Friday
just
must
cut
have
down
just
this
been a big
pull stick,
blur.
which isn't a gun, and sanded it down until it looks like a handle, and then put in this bolt, which just happened to be covered in glue. Then just screwed in the handle to the inside pipe. And now I can manually make the whole jaw thing close, and it seems to lock in place every time.
Looks like
But
a
there is
beautiful
still a lot
person
of friction
snatcher.
between the metal jaw sections, and they could definitely be smoother. So I bought these things called thrust bearings, which I've used before in the bedroom, but never for building stuff. So I grabbed my wrenches and put a thrust bearing between every bolt. And now there is no friction between the pieces at all.
Oh, it feels so much nicer. Wait, Alexa,
Jesus Christ.
can I catch you?
What? I'm just gonna stand here and you're gonna put that on me.
Yes, exactly.
The liquor sweats.
Move your arm, please, sir.
Doesn't look safe.
That's not good. It grabs your shirt. Thank you. It's not even hitting you yet. Okay. How does it feel? I got more on it. Okay, go. It's gotta stop there. There's a big hole there. Oh wow, I'm sorry, that's actually bad. But I designed it for my waist. Yeah.
You're calling me a fat guy on the inside.
I'm not calling you a fat guy.
That's pretty mean.
People have different bodies. It's fine. Do you reckon you can try it on me?
You don't have to carry it. This is heavy as well.
It's really heavy. Ow, 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 ow,
Oh, it's stuck. What?
It really hurt. It's sticking straight in.
How do you get
Just
it out?
Press,
Wait, this one's missing. This side of it coming out.
press
Wait,
both of them.
look.
Yeah, it must have been fun time.
Oh, that's really bad. Why'd you make this?
And the jaws may look cool, but the spikes really suck for catching, as they are incredibly painful when they dig into your back. And also the spikes make it hard to wrap around people as they get caught on people's clothing. So all I did was make a new pair of smooth jaws, which should be less painful. And now comes the real test. And I'm going to test this on someone that the police are used to abusing, this 86-year-old homeless man. But he has a secret. He knows Kung Fu.
Hell yeah.
Put it down, Cass. Put it down. Put it down.
It's working. Throw it. Oh, he got you.
Even hit the blinker.
Alright, let's stop.
Okay.
So that is locked in on your leg.
It's very tight, yeah, it's good.
It was tight.
It works, it works.
It does actually work?
Yeah, yeah.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, you can sell that.
It wasn't too tight though? It wasn't.
It was tight. Pretty much in there. No, that's alright.
Just naturally.
Now I think Cass was going easy on me,
Better
allowing the
break the
device to
old
slip
guy's
around his
ribs.
body. Probably because I was paying him and he wanted to make it look like my device was working. But even then, he still managed to throw his knife into my neck and his ciggy into my leg. So this time I told him to pretend like he was actually going to be detained, like in all those prison stories he was telling us about, and to do everything in his power to escape.
Ready? Set. Go. Okay. Put it down. Put it down. Yeah, yeah. Oh no, he's got it. Oh. What do I do now?
He's got you.
got
He got you.
owned by an
You're
old
dead.
guy.
Your device sucks, Alex.
Was that easy? That was so easy.
Easy. But if you go in quick,
If I go in quick,
we'll disable you. No worries.
I kind of stab you like that, then I should get you.
The thing is, in real life, you won't be getting tips from the person who's trying to attack you.
No,
There's.
it doesn't work like that.
That's why you do training.
And that time, Cass just
On a
grabbed
very
the
old guy.
claws and worked his way slowly up the pole until he could stab me. Now, I probably could have ripped and spun him off, but that kind of defeats the purpose of having a harmless man catcher. So, we were 1-1 now, so we decided to do the best out of 3 and give it one more go.
2, 1, go. Well, now I got you. Now it's locked in. Does that hurt? Wait.
Oh, he's pulling it off. He's slipping it off.
Too skinny.
I don't think you can get me. I've got you. I've got you.
I guess it
He's
just
not
goes
giving
down
up.
to the legs.
No, persistent. I got you. Cass.
Oh, it's...
I got you. Just admit it's over.
And that time I managed to grab him, and once you have someone in the claws, it works really well, and they definitely can't get out. But getting them in isn't that easy.
No.
Also, I know what you're going to say. You're going to say, this isn't an accurate test of how the device works, as he is too old. You need to test it on someone younger.
Small child.
That was a good shot.
You got me.
And now trying to get out.
Well, that's not cheating. I got so strong muscles.
You do have strong muscles.
It'd be so funny if you just hauled it. Just haul it under his legs.
You could have a go, but that was embarrassing because I couldn't actually stop him from getting out.
And this was meant to be a funny joke segment that didn't prove anything. But even this 3-year-old was able to defeat me. As once he put his weight down on the end, it just turns into a big lever and I can't pick it back up. And he wasn't even trying to do that. But again, I reckon it's because I didn't want to be rough and hurt him. So for the final test, I'm going to do it on someone that I'm not afraid to hurt.
Hell yeah.
Can we do this when I finish eating?
Yeah, okay. Also, I'm going to make some quick changes to the man
He was
catcher.
the man that's
In
recently
my
had a
first man
concussion.
catching video, you guys had some pretty horrible suggestions on how I could make it better. A lot of you talked about a different latching mechanism, but others wanted me to attach tasers or pepper spray to the front, and you even drew diagrams explaining how to do it. And I agree it's a funny idea and extremely easy to taser someone once you already have them restrained inside a pair of claws, but it kind of defeats the whole purpose of not tasing them by putting a taser on the end, so I won't be doing that. Mostly because tasers are illegal for civilians like me to own. But I have an idea of how I can make this better, and that's by taking the whole thing
Goddamn
apart
Australia.
and just using the middle stick with the crescent-shaped piece on the top, as the closing mechanism works well if I can get someone inside, but it's very easy to avoid if the person just grabs it, and then I just have a big, heavy stick. So hopefully, without the claws, I should be able to move it around quicker.
Okay, so you're just trying to kill me. Okay, but we're going properly. You're actually trying to kill me. This is revenge for the concussion. Okay, ready?
I'd want to be further away.
Set, go. Wow! I died so quickly.
I just hit myself.
God damn. Was sort of effective.
I'm like, blah! What can you do now?
We'll get you on the ground.
I think I can look at it.
Okay, go.
Go,
Go.
Oh, that's going through my head.
So what happened here? It's like...
That's just in your eye. Okay.
I'm gonna have to plug my